Good afternoon, guys. I hope everybody's doing well. We, jumped on Virginia, right off the bat. I think yesterday we came out and did a lot of corrections. It was, good for our guys to see the mistakes that we made and the plays that we left out on the field. Obviously Clemson's a great opponent, but, I think offensively we left a lot of plays out there that we've been making throughout the season, and particularly some big plays. It just didn't come through with those big plays. And you're looking at the film, it's, I think it's about 3 or 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it's still 17-3. And there's a couple of times where we felt like we had opportunities to score. Obviously, it would have been a different kind of game. And against a team like Clemson, you got to be able to hit those plays, as I mentioned after the game. And really wasn't any different after going back and watching it. And but to correct those mistakes, to move forward, that's what we're doing. We know we got a great opponent in Virginia, 5-2 team, coached very well. Coach Mendenhall, I think maybe this is his 5th season maybe, and he's done a great job of building that program up. They're very competitive. Their kids play extremely hard. Defensively, one of the best defenses in the country, and they're right there with Clemson in tackles for loss, sacks. Their linebackers are outstanding. Then offensively, everything runs through their quarterback. They don't get a ton of yards offensively, but very efficiently move the football, and it goes through him. Running and passing, he makes it go. If he's having a good day, then you're not having a good day on defense because he's a great player as far as running the ball and making plays down the field. And then I think we've seen what they do in the kick return. They had another kick return for a touchdown this past weekend against Duke. And that guy's really, really good in the kick return game. So all 3 phases, they're solid, coached well, really good opponent.
Scott, a couple weeks ago you talked a lot about mental mistakes. Are the mistakes still mental? Are you getting better in that regards, and how many?
Yeah, I think we're getting better at it. I think we are. We the high point of that was the Florida State game. We've gotten way better since then as we go back and look at it. We had a few mentals up front, in the run and passing game, this past weekend, but a lot of it was just not making the play. Come down to it. Really, you got to make the throw, you got to make the catch. Hawkins had a good day running the football. So I think the big difference was what we had been making earlier games was the big plays. You guys have seen that with Seth and Tutu and Fitz, and we just didn't have enough of those plays.
Coach, what is it that they do, Virginia, that makes it so difficult on offense to execute?
Yeah, I think it starts with their outside linebackers. They'll base in a 3-4. And number 11 is one of the better players in the ACC, if not the country. I mean, he's 6'7", 235 pounds. He has a lot of length, and they do a good job of containing everything on the edges and then making you come inside. And when you do that, you're not getting those free plays to the edges, and now those 2 linebackers on the inside are good players. And I think they've done well in the secondary. They stay on top of everything. There's not guys running free on film to where you can get easy yards down the field. They did lose, one of the best probably corners in the country, when he's out for the season now. But last week, I mean, he didn't miss a beat defensively, not giving up any big plays. And so I think they're just coached well. They're where they're supposed to be, and there's just not any easy plays to where you can get yards. You have to earn everything.
Looking back at the Clemson game, when you decided to make the QB change, and I believe it was the first half, what went into that decision? Like, what was kind of like, not necessarily the final straw, but what made you pull the trigger to swap the QB throughout the game like you did?
Well, we went into the game. We knew Malik was going to start, and then we knew Evan was going to play, so we just put him in. It's kind of like the last few games, really, and just want to get Evan some in there, and Malik comes back in there, and then at that point toward the end of the game, it's just kind of a feel thing. I think but Evan goes in, and we kind of went down the field a little bit, moved the ball, so we just left him in toward the end of the game. But it's they both played well. I don't think either one of them played well in that game. As you go back and look at it, there was a couple of times where we got quick game called, and pre-snap they're getting a read, and they go into a particular side. Well, it's not there. Then they're trying to flip their feet, go to the other side. We can't do that. I mean, so they did some things that uncharacteristically haven't been doing, and kind of cost us. We got sacked 5 or 6 times, and really one of them was on the O-line. The other were the quarterbacks. Holding the ball. Again, we've had that issue this year. We got to get rid of the football. And, we have to learn from that.
But you mentioned Bryce. Just similar to Malik in a sense that he can make
Yeah.
big plays with his feet. I think Clemson spied Malik a little bit.
They
Do
did.
you plan on doing that as well with Bryce, or how do you slow down his?
Yeah, that'll be a part of our package, depending on what, defense we call at that particular time. And, a lot of it has to depend on, down and distance, where you're out on the field. But yeah, they did, Clemson did a good job, rushing three and then having one guy just kind of sitting there and waiting. So when you come out, that's a good idea. Then you have to make the play. I think, Bryce does a good job of breaking tackles. He's a strong runner. And you have to be able to do that. What you'd like to be able to do is contain him and not let him get out loose. I think that's where he's dangerous. When he gets out, you break contain, he's out on the edges, and now he can run past. And that's where he becomes really dangerous. So we got to try to keep him in the pocket, and then when he does break out, have a player there to be able to contain him.
And in terms of Hassan, you have any update on how he's doing?
He'll be day to day. He didn't practice Sunday. We'll see where he's at toward the middle of the week. Like a lower half injury like he has, you never know when he'll be available. We're gonna really stay in the training room all week. We'll see where he's at. Obviously he's a good player for us, and not only the return game but also as a running back. And so he went on the game, and that was a big loss for us. But that's a little bit more burden on Hawkins. He has to hold that down at running back spot.
Defensively, your guys made a few more big plays. Again, I guess it's kind of a growing trend for you guys, but still late in the game, it seems like are they getting tired, or is lack of depth, or what is the concern there?
Well, missed tackles. Like late in the game there. Even the long run that number 9 had, the running back they went unbalanced into the sideline. We had 2 missed tackles. We had 2 guys there to make it, just didn't make it, didn't get him down. He's a talented runner, but you got to get him down. Yeah, one of them was a 3-yard game, and the other one was a 7-yard. If you get him down, but then he takes it all the way to the house. So, I think it's just being focused and consistent and tackling throughout the whole game. I think it just by the fourth quarter sometimes, it's not like we just got wore down. I don't think that was the case. I just think that we just didn't make the plays when we needed to, and they were able to hit some big plays.
After a game like Saturday loss and it's early in the day, how quickly are you back in the film? Do you let some time sit? What's your process kind of?
No, it's the same. It's the same no matter what. We get out of here after the game. We had several recruits in here, so we spent some time with them and their families. That's one advantage to our early kick. You're able to spend time more with the recruits after the game, and then the next day you come back in and you go. So it's not like we're going to jump right on it. We're going to keep our same routine, win or lose, no matter what time it is in the day and on Saturdays, and so we had a normal routine afterwards.
Coach, you saw a lot of this last week against Clemson, but in your mind, what does your offense need to do specifically to be successful against such an efficient defense like Virginia?
Yeah, well, you got to stay on the sticks. We've talked about that all year. We did a very poor job of that, particularly in the second half. You look in the third quarter, we did not move forward. We moved backwards, actually, in the first 3 drives. So you have to stay on the sticks. And what does that mean? Well, if you do decide to throw it on first down, we need to complete it. And a lot of times our first down throws are plays that we feel very confident in completing, so we can be 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. And now if you go incomplete, now you're 2nd and 10. And that just gets you off your routine of what you want to be able to do, and so that's first and foremost to eliminate some of these negative plays. I think, and we did a poor job with that Saturday. I don't know how many Clemson made, 10 or 11 tackles for loss, and that's terrible offense. It gets us off the sticks, and now they can dial up whatever they want on 2nd and 3rd down and be very aggressive. So staying on the sticks, and that just so efficient passing game on first down. And in the running game, find those holes that we can get to be able to run the football. Because the other thing that Virginia does is occupy the ball. They're close to 35 minutes per game in time of possession, and what that means, you're not getting many opportunities offensively. So you got to take advantage of the opportunities you're going to get. And when you get down, obviously trying to score touchdowns. If you're limited in possessions, you want to get in the end zone.
Coach, Malik's first drive was a pretty good job. Pick. Evans' first drive was a pretty good job until Tutu dropped that, what probably would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
How much of those 2 plays, or just turnovers or mistakes like that, general halt a quarterback?
Yeah, well, they were huge. Malik threw that ball in that first drive. That was 2nd and 6, and Tutu, he can make that play. You go back and watch him film, and he can make that play, and he'll tell you he should make it. And Evans' drive too, he should make that play, and he has made it. He's made those plays throughout the year. We lean on him, and we got great confidence that he's going to make those plays. And you know, they just change the game when you make those. You know, if you fall on that the muff punt, you know, we got 3 guys right there. You know, they change the outcome of games because now the way they're going to call their offense is going to be different, and their defense. You know, if it's a tied ball game, or if we're, you know, if we're in the lead or whatever. I mean, so. And against teams like that, you have to be able to make them. You know, we did, like at Wake Forest. You know, you make some of those plays early, you get up on those teams, and then you're able to hang on and win the game. You know, and that determines the outcomes of games. So you have to make those plays early. I think that's huge, and particularly when you're playing a team like Clemson.